It's October 1st, 2025. I'm Kristen with Athena Witchcraft and Tarot, and the card of the day is the Star. I draw all the cards for these card of the day things on the new moon to do a single reading for the entire moon cycle, like new moon to dark moon. So I don't necessarily know ahead of time how a card is going to land or match up with the news of the day. Last month, I drew the Star the day after Charlie Kirk was murdered. Well, damn. How can I get online and talk about hope and healing and joy when at least 35% of the country is in shock and mourning? So I did not do that. And as certain cards like to do, here it is again, to signal that it's time to take a look at the complicated feelings that the whole situation has left me with. Erica Kirk did an amazing thing, and I would rather focus on that than on the truth of her late husband's work with college students. The Christian notion of forgiveness is one of the strengths of the religion and one that is in short supply in the world today. The typical MAGA notion of Christianity is basically just white supremacist Christian nationalism. So it was notable when Mrs. Kirk announced to the crowd that she had forgiven the man who had murdered her husband.
That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love.
Can you imagine those words coming from the mouths of J.D. Vance, Stephen Miller, or Donald Trump? I don't think they're capable of understanding the concept. They immediately jump to threats of retribution rather than living out the beliefs that they claim so stridently to have. I won't embed any of their comments here. It's far too easy to find it yourself, and I refuse to be complicit in repeating such garbage. The problem I have with all of this is that it ignores the fact that Charlie Kirk was a font of hate for his entire public professional life. Ta-Nehisi Coates cataloged many of his noxious opinions in a recent piece in Vanity Fair. I've linked it in the description to this video. Anti-trans, anti-LGBTQ, misogynist, racist, xenophobic, deplorable. I cannot pretend that Mr. Kirk didn't advocate these things, no matter how abhorrent I find his murder. This is a man who felt that a few gun deaths were a worthy price to pay for the Second Amendment when those gun deaths belong to school children. Now that it's his blood that's been shed, suddenly I'm supposed to pretend that he never said that? Mr. Coates recently was on Ezra Klein's podcast discussing the problem that he has with Mr. Klein claiming that Mr. Kirk did politics the right way. I've linked it also in the show description. It's worth watching in full. The moment when Mr. Klein bemoans What could he have said in the face of this tragedy? And Mr. Coates reminds him that silence was an option. I also cringed when Mr. Klein referred to himself as a public intellectual. I'm starting to think that these things are a large part of the problem. I'm increasingly thinking that the way back from this place that the United States finds itself in is a combination of the two. We need grace. We need to give it and we need to receive it, but we should do it with our eyes open. The way to healing the breach is in our society is rocky, but we must get through to the other side.